Welcome to Illuminating Catholics, podcast of the Diocese of Sioux City. I'm Dawn Prosser, Director of Communications for the Diocese. Together with Karmen Bower of the Faith Formation Office, we will shed light upon topics of faith in the modern church. Our guests include Catholic clergy, religious sisters, and other experts in their fields to help us understand what's happening in the church today. We will explore issues, even the tough ones, and to find answers to common questions about Catholicism. Thank you for joining us for today's Illuminating Catholics, shedding light to understand the modern church. Welcome back to the Illuminating Catholics podcast of the Diocese of Sioux City. I'm Dawn Prosser, and I am the Director of Communications for the Diocese.
And I am Karmen Bower. I am the Director of Faith Formation.
Thank you so much for being one of our listeners. Be sure to take us with you if you're traveling this summer. We don't take up a lot of room, and you can listen to the latest episode, and you can catch up on maybe some topics that you've missed, or maybe this is your first one and you want to just listen all the way back to the very first episode. That would be great. So today we have a very first for the podcast. We are going to be chatting with all of the Faith Formation Office coordinators, and if you haven't figured it out by now, that's Karmen Bower's staff, and you're going to learn more about the configuration of the office, how the coordinators provide direct services to our parishes, and serving ultimately our parishioners. So welcome to our coordinators.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll introduce them in just a moment. But first, I wanted to ask Karmen, I know you came into this position and you really had a vision for how the office would work and how it's designed to be a resource in helping the parishes. So I'm just going to turn that over to you, and if you would just kind of lay that out for us so we can understand how it works.
Yes, so we are the Faith Formation Office for the Diocese of Sioux City. So, of course, our first mission is to always implement the vision of our bishop and to help serve him and his initiatives in our parishes. You know, that can be done in a lot of ways. And so when I came into this office, I came into the position after working at the parish level for several years. And through that time, I kind of, gained this perspective of what it actually looks like to implement something at the parish level, what that takes, and also, the kind of support that is helpful when you are in a position. So many of our parish leaders, those who are really working and serving our parish communities on the ground level, live almost ministry experiences of isolation where they're usually the only person in their parish office or in their parish leading these initiatives and these ministries. And I think from that experience and from conversations with my peers in ministry, what I really wanted to do was to provide accompaniment and support to those who are serving our parishes. I really firmly believe that God has provided our diocese with the people that He has called in these positions. So we have the people that we need, the people He has called, and we're just here to, help them out as they, in a similar way as us, ask their pastor what he would like and implement their pastor's vision in their parishes. So oftentimes in diocesan offices, you'll have one director of faith formation, one person for youth ministry, one person for marriage preparation, and everything's very divided. But we decided to transition this office into combining all of those things, everything from sacramental prep to adult faith formation to marriage preparation into one office, but then have multiple staff members to work regionally. In our more rural diocese, this can be a very positive approach because usually it's the same person doing all of those things in a parish, or oftentimes that will overlap. And so it's been really cool to just begin with building relationships. Again, we really do trust that God is, leading those who are prayerfully living out their call to be in ministry and just offering them that support. And then that has really grown into, some regional collaboration and in other areas like that. We work really hard for continued training on our end so that we can serve the needs of parishes because the needs differ. One parish might have an amazing faith formation program but might be struggling with adult faith formation. So it's important for us to help them begin in that role or implement something, and then another parish might just have a great marriage preparation process in place, and so we do a lot of seeing where the need is. Everybody has an area where they want to grow in their parish, and we want to help them do that, as well as connect those people to others who are doing the same thing. So we kind of do a lot of networking, regional collaboration, a lot of time on the road. It's very important for us to be in the parishes themselves, meeting not only the staff but also getting to know the personality of others in their parishes.
Speaking of being on the road, it was quite the miracle to get all of you together to do this. So, Karmen, will you introduce? You talked about God brings the people that you need to do the work of his church. So how about you introduce those people?
This idea of kind of doing a regional approach, came through prayer and, obviously counsel with several people. But what really has brought it to fruition is that we are blessed with three amazing women who, we all work together in the Office of Faith Formation. And I'm just so blessed to have them on the staff. And so we have Danielle Fennessy, Madeline McClarty, and Delores Huemiller. And there are three regional coordinators. So we'll go ahead and start with Maddie. Would you like to just give us a little bit of your background, where you're from, and maybe what drew you to working in this position, but even more broadly working in ministry?
So I'm Maddie McClarty. I'm actually originally from Fort Dodge, and I grew up as a parishioner at Holy Trinity. So it's been a great blessing to be at the diocese. Because of that, growing up in the diocese myself and going to Catholic schools here, I started working for the diocese about a year and a half ago, and actually was previously at a parish for a little over a year. I worked at All Saints Parish. And I think what led me to my role for working for the Catholic Church, I always kind of had a passion that was inherently there. That was kind of instilled in me by my parents, especially my father, who's very passionate about his faith. But I don't think I actually realized that I ever wanted to do something in the church until I was in college. And I went to a Catholic college, and I kind of dabbled in various ministries, helping with confirmation retreats, going on mission trips. I was a part of a women's group that had a profound impact on my life. And it was there that I realized that I really wanted to do this with my life, and I didn't know exactly what that would look like until I saw the opportunity in Lamars, and then eventually coming to the diocese. But it's been a great blessing to be at the diocese, and so that's kind of how I came to be where I'm at.
And can you give us a little bit of the picture of the area you cover in the diocese?
Yeah, so kind of capitalizing on that, I actually serve the eastern region of our diocese, which is special to me because it includes my home parish in Fort Dodge, and just a lot of areas that I was familiar with growing up, such as Humboldt and Algona. My dad's from Bancroft, so that's always a fun connection with people at Divine Mercy Parish, and just different various parishes like Spirit Lake, Grettinger, Esterville, Spencer, Pocahontas, so all the parishes kind of in that region. And so I help them essentially, as Karmen mentioned at the beginning, with any and all ministry that they need. Some of my parishes need a lot more help heavily on the faith formation side, and then actually in my region many kind of are leaning more towards adult ministries, so it's kind of fun for me to see the needs. But I think why I love my region so much is because it's like I'm giving back to where my roots are. So that's a very unique part of the region that I serve. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun getting to know more and more people in my region as time has gone on, and I continue making those networking and connections as we kind of keep going on with our vision.
Absolutely, and Maddie just has an incredible ability to connect with people, and I think that she always seems to just draw that trust from somebody automatically. So she's just done such a good job forming those relationships and serving those parishes. So then we also have Danielle Fennessy. So Danny, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I am Danielle Fennessy. I am originally from Norfolk, Nebraska, just about an hour and a half away from Sioux City. I came to Sioux City after graduating from Benedictine College in 2019, and I was working at the college here in town and got burnt out and was just looking for something else. Ended up at the diocese just as an administrative assistant, actually. And then I walked the Community Santiago, had an incredible pilgrimage, life experience on that. And when I came back, it was this might be a cop out, but it was really by the Holy Spirit that I felt drawn to apply for this position and then to accept the position when it was offered. There was just a time of transition where there were several different things, and it was just like the Lord's asking me to take something else on, and it was ultimately to join this office. And I've been very excited to work in this office for about 2 years now, I believe, a year and a half, around the same time as Maddie. And it's just been, a great joy getting to meet so many incredible parishioners within our diocese, learning all of the intricacies about parish life as well, and just catechesis and evangelization and everything that people do when they work for the church. It's just awesome.
So Danny, can you describe for us just a little bit about the area that you serve in their diocese?
Yeah, so I serve the southern region of the diocese, which is mostly anything on Highway 20 and down. So it kind of starts in Kingsley, Anthem, Mobile, and then I go all the way over yonder out to Boone, Jefferson, Madrid, in that area. I work with a lot of incredible women who are doing parish ministry, and we've had a really strong focus this past year on youth ministry and what that means for our middle schoolers and high schoolers across the diocese.
Yeah, there's really been just such a variety of things happening in that southern region between youth events, but also, catechist training that has been shared between some of the parishes. So I do have to say that what Danny brings to our team is just the most random ideas that are also the most fun ideas. So there are many times I will see Danny just walking into my office. I can just see her from a distance, and I just never know what is going to happen. So it's such a blessing to have her energy and youthfulness and on her team. So, and then Delores, our most recent hire as coordinator, can you share a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I'm Delores Huemiller, and I grew up in Minnesota, but we moved here about 5 years ago from North Carolina, and I started working for the diocese about 8 months ago, last October. I think what drew me to working for the Catholic Church was simply a love for the faith. We've been involved for most of my adult life. I've been involved in Bible studies and volunteering at churches, Protestant churches or Catholic parishes since we were received into the church, just in so many various capacities, from cleaning the church to leading Bible studies, teaching children's faith formation, being on the pastoral council. And a few years ago, the director of discipleship position, basically the DRE position at Divine Mercy in Algona, came open, and it was just a great opportunity for me to do something for the church, which I love, and to teach the faith, which I love. And it was perfect timing with, the children growing up and whatnot. So it just sort of happened in a slow way, and then from there the position came open at the diocese, and and here I am, thankful to be here. I work with the Northwestern region, and then also Sioux City and Salix and Ottawa. So I've got a couple of different regions or different dynamics, if you will. First, it's more rural, right, in the Northwest region. So we're talking Larchwood, Rock Rapids, Sibley, Granville, Sioux Center, and then Lamar's, which maybe isn't as rural, but then you get into Sioux City, which is definitely not rural. So there's a lot of variety with what I do. There's some coordination, and there's with helping out with the parishes and the DREs to collaborate with them, I should say, instead of coordination, collaboration, and but also just supporting them in lots of different needs. So there's a lot of the DREs have been at it a while, and yet we still have a few new ones, which is kind of fun to work with them as well. So there's a lot of variety to the job for sure, which I really enjoy.
Well, and yeah, Delores is newer to our team, but she's brought so much just experience in being able to take ideas and, kind of help us implement them. So it's just been a joy to have her with us as well.
So it might be helpful for the listeners, whatever parish you're connected to, maybe to know how this all comes together, how it works. So I think I will pick on Danielle. And can you give us kind of a picture how you might collaborate? Let's say, I don't know, pick a parish. cathedral, the one I go to, let's say, and I know that's Delores' territory, but anyway, pick a parish, and how might you collaborate with that parish and the staff there?
Yeah, so I can actually really speak to that. So I had the Sioux City region for a while before we kind of had a change in our office. So I have worked with Cathedral, and one of the things that I was able to work with them with was their pastor, Father David Asiliano. He was like, I really want a youth ministry program to get going for my kids. And we were like, okay, we'll try and make that happen. So we found a program, we shared it with them, got it started, and we were like, find the volunteers and we'll get them trained. So we went and provided, I think it was 2 different nights. We met with the team and like, here's what relational ministry is. Here's how we can lead prayer with the kids. Here's how you would outline your talk. And we did all these things. We got everything organized, made organizational sheets, and then I helped them for the first 2 different like actual youth ministry sessions, and we just had a blast. I could have stayed and helped out with those kids the entire time, and they just had an incredible team, and it's still going. They've had a youth ministry program now for about a year and a half.
So you were able to respond to this pastor that identified his particular need, and you were there. Mm-hmm. We were talking about it the other day, kind of like a consultant,
yes,
of your very own. Sure. Without the...
It does look really different because we usually work with a multitude of different parishes at a time when it comes to like a bit larger events, quote unquote. So we've helped, I think all of us have helped with like different retreats and whatnot, but that's always like 4 or 5 different parishes working together, which has been really cool.
Yeah, meeting of the minds, definitely. So now I'll pick on Delores. So can you tell us some of the things that you've helped with at any particular parishes, or if they had a need like Father Esquiliano and said, hey, I need some help with this, or maybe it was a staff member. So
Yes, there's actually been quite a range of help that we've given. At one parish, I've gone out and helped train some sponsor couples for their marriage preparation program. At another parish, I helped a DRE create a form that she wanted to use to get feedback from her faith formation year. At one parish, I helped with their technology, just their website. And then I've also helped a couple of other DREs using Canva. So there's a lot of different parts to the job for sure, and really anything, right? Like you said, their own personal consultant. They reach out for some help, and we try and help.
That's got to be great, though. I also came from working at a parish before I came here, and just having somebody at the diocese that you can call, that's their job is to help you and help your parishioners. So I'm sure the parishes are just thrilled that they have someone to call. So Madeline, don't think I forgot you, because I did not. So we are all talking about our collaborations in our parishes. Can you tell us maybe about some projects or just working with a particular parish or team that was most exciting or fulfilling for you?
Yeah, kind of before we had our full team, we had different regions, but I'd say the most exciting collaboration that I've done was kind of up in the Northwest, so where Delores has now with about 7 or 8 DREs. We would have a regional meeting, and I would be getting to know them and talking to them, and they would express such a desire to do something with youth, and how they just kind of want to bring something back to their parishes. And so we kind of would have these discussions, and we decided, like, why don't we just plan a youth conference? And so I met with them every month from March to October when we had the conference, and we planned the schedule, we had the connections, everybody kind of took a role in planning the retreat. And I would always tell them in our meetings that it was the most thrilling experience of my life. I've never planned something of that level in my life, and they were so like patient with me being new to my role, but I think it was just so life-giving to make something that they wanted come alive for their parish and for the youth in their parish. And this was the called youth conference. But we had a great turnout, just a lot of great feedback from the day. And so I'd say that that's my most exciting collaboration. And it necessarily wasn't like the event that was most life-giving for me, but I think it was those particular DREs growing in actual friendship with each other, which I don't know if they really knew each other beforehand, But by the end of that, it kind of felt like, in a small way, we were a little family who had gone through the pains and struggles of planning an event. But by the end, it was just so rewarding. And so that was definitely my highlight so far. And I know there's many more to come, but that was definitely a really thrilling experience for me.
That was probably a great opportunity, like you said, those DREs that met each other, and I'm sure all of you out there in the field, and then they know to call each other now. And maybe they did before, but it's different when you meet face to face. So who wants to volunteer? Like, how many miles do you drive? How many days on the road? Who wants to give us some fun Faith Formation Office trivia? Don't all talk at once.
Well, I personally can share that I am on the quest for the best cheese balls in the diocese.
Okay.
So, as we're out and about, I do have, I do get to try some of those. So
I did forget to mention that this is the Faith Formation Office is the most fun office in the Chancery. Just thought I'd share that with you. So thanks for bringing me into your world one now and then. So anyway, on the road all the time, aren't you? Nobody
Yeah,
wants to
it
say.
changes each month for sure. I mean, I know Delores just last week, she had, I think, 4 different visits in one day. Was that it? Yeah.
Wow.
So
I think
it
so.
changes about each month. Sometimes some are much busier than others, especially if there is a big event coming up.
But I must say you guys are always accessible, and Karmen as well. I know she's on the road a lot too. Whenever we need anything, and I'm sure it's the same with the parishes that you serve, you guys are so good about phone calls, emails, texts, whatever. So even though these ladies are on the road, they will still take care of
Yes.
you. They will still respond.
and invite us to come visit as well. We really
Yes.
enjoy being out there. That way we don't have to be in our office, So it's a good opportunity
Escape.
for us. Yeah. No, we really enjoy it. So, we actually just sat down and did some calendaring for the year. We always leave space though for, new ideas to come up. So are there any upcoming projects that, any of the coordinators that you'd like to share that you're really excited about for our office or for your region?
We'll call on you if you don't volunteer. Just like Scott.
I think I'll go ahead and personally, I was thinking about this, and I don't know if I necessarily have a specific project that I'm really excited about. There's a few that, I'm really looking forward to. But really, I'm excited to be working with and for Bishop Keener. I'm so thankful to Bishop Nicholas for all he did, and I hope he's enjoying his well-earned retirement. But I'm excited now to see what happens with the new bishop and whatever that looks like, after he sort of gets his feet wet and starts to lead us in the vision that he wants. So that's really what I'm excited about, is just working with him.
Maddie.
Yeah, one of the upcoming projects that I'm most excited about, I have several, but I think the one that, that kind of gets me right now is I'm working with a group of women that have 3 different representatives from different parishes, our Resurrection of the Lord in Pocahontas, St. Mary's in Humboldt, and then Holy Trinity in Fort Dodge. There's a group of women, and we're planning a women's gathering to take place this fall. And just as an aside, women's ministry is really important to me. So I'm really excited about this project, and we've been meeting and kind of coming up with ideas. So more details to be shared soon for those listening. But I'm really looking forward to that. And the group of women we have involved are just phenomenal. So I'm definitely looking forward to that project very much.
I'm anxious to hear more about it when it rolls around.
Yes.
I'll go. Okay, so I would say that there's several, some, like almost smaller things I would say that I'm really looking forward to. But one of them is in July. We are hosting our second DRE orientation. And it's just really great to be, we don't get to host that often in Sioux City. And it's just really awesome when we do get to do that. And then we're adding in an element of the pilgrimage for the Jubilee year at the cathedral. And it's just also really nice for everybody to kind of, one, see where we work, see our offices, and then also get to meet so many of our coworkers that we work with closely here at the Chancery. And they get to meet several, I think we have 4 different offices leading presentations this time around. So it's just going to be really great. That, and then another thing is in September, I'm excited to partake in the OCIA studies and days that we're participating in alongside the office of worship. So yeah, two of the things.
So this is another question for us to think about is, what are some projects that we have on our wish lists? We have a very long Google Doc with ideas.
Don't all talk at once.
PowerPoint slide. I know.
Well, yeah.
I will stick with when the Highway 75 finishes between Lamar's and Sioux City. I will be trying to figure out a Eucharistic pilgrimage to get us from point A to point B. Yes, I will.
That's thinking outside the box.
That's all I am here for.
We need people like you in the world. Who's next?
I think I'll go. I think for me, like kind of going off the women's gathering, I know we've heard from several of our parishes kind of like at our DRE events that we host that there's a desire for more women's ministries. So I think long-term goal, I'd love to see that expand, more on like a parish to parish basis if we can. But also, I mean, we're kind of starting this summer, but I really am looking forward to networking more within marriage prep and all of that, whether that's NFP or the process, and we're kind of in the process of starting that. But I think for me, that's on my wish list to kind of develop my own knowledge in that, and also to be able to be more helpful to parishes, especially in my region, and especially seeing that as a need for myself. So that's definitely on mine.
Okay, Delores.
I think for mine on my wish list, we've sort of tossed around the idea a bit back and forth amongst us in the office, is some sort of family festival or some gathering for families to come together. We have the men's conference, and now there's going to be the women's conference, and we have lots of youth conferences, youth retreats. But I'd like to see something for an entire family to come all together at once. I don't know when that would be. I don't know how, but that is something that I would really love to see happen, just to support families, in raising their, parents in raising their children, and just to bring them together to celebrate the faith as a family.
Well, I'm excited for this wish list.
Yes, we have, like Danny mentioned, we do have a lot of ideas all collected on a slideshow that we revisit at time to time.
Hey, I love it. I love it. You've been doing some great work. So again, the most fun office at the CCO. No disrespect to our other coworkers, but I do want to thank. Actually, I want to thank Karmen for allowing us to bring her staff on, so you can hear more about all of the great things that are happening since this office was reimagined. So thank you to Delores, Madeline, Danielle for sharing your work in the Faith Formation office with the listeners. And just coming from someone who doesn't work in your office, we do really appreciate all that you do. You're supporting our parishes and their staff members so they don't feel like they're all alone, as Karmen mentioned. And ultimately, your work serves the faithful in the diocese, which is what we're here for. So we can't wait to see what you and your partners in the local parish staff members come up with next. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for following Illuminating Catholics. If you want to listen to more fun episodes like this, do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you can enjoy every episode and learn more about the faith and the events going on in the Diocese of Sioux City.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Illuminating Catholics, shedding light to understand the modern church. Follow us for more episodes on topics of the Catholic faith. For more diocesan news, visit lumenmedia.org.